Hi, Weather Joey here with your bottom of the South Island weather recap for a long time. No, I won't get into a forecast. So it is September 12th, 2023. The last, if you look back at the annals of videos, the last one was in July 18th. So we're approaching 2 months now. I've been really busy doing other stuff, and I haven't really... I've been following things the whole way along, but nothing super exciting weather-wise other than lots of summer. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We still got the pictures from my nephews and his friends. And bear with me because I'm a little bit out of practice, so I'll practice looking into the camera and I'll practice reading. I'm going to do a recap from back then, just basically reading didactically off my notes that I keep all the time, every day, just to get you caught up if you're following along this in the future. And to all the plants, animals, minerals, spirits, and beings that dwell within this realm, you know I'm with you every day, and we speak and converse every day. So I won't have a forecast for you out there yet, but I do know the forecast, and you can feel it coming from me. So I'll put it down on video also. But for now, for you guys in the future, here is the recap. But before, as always, we get started on this, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge the first peoples of this land, the First Nations from North Saanich out to Sooke and beyond, for allowing us to live, work, and play on their beautiful traditional territories. There's been lots of play this summer, lots of work, and we continue to live. So we thank you very much and look forward to a future together. Okay, let's get right into it. I got some Harry Potter reading glasses. If you don't know what Harry Potter is, look it up. If there is still an online, if not, may the wizard be with you. Let's see. July. A west flow brings a new ridge in for the 18th of July with weak support over the U.S. Southwest. Temps rise for all on the 18th, and by the 19th we're getting hot into heat wave area. Boy, these are bring back memories. Meanwhile, new low pressure has moved into the Gulf of Alaska and continues to slowly drop lower, well offshore, bringing a consistent south to southwest flow across the coast with warm, hot, mainly sunny weather, none of the moisture really getting through, right through to the 23rd with only small smatterings of cloud. Tofino west coast sees low cloud fog on the southerly flow, bringing a bit of low-lying moisture and cooler temps with this. By the 23rd, frontal cloud from this offshore low moves onto the coast as the low now approaches the coast. The 24th brings rain and wind as this summer storm crosses the North Island into the BC interior. First rain in a while. Behind this, we see a seasonal showery west flow for the 25th, drying out as weak surface high pressure builds in. By the 26th, we're into more sun, cloud, and summer weather. That was the only rain we really got towards the end of July there. Upper troughing, however, hasn't completely left the Pacific Northwest with that low. And for the next several days, the 27th to the 30th, we see some morning cloud around, especially in the hills. But the sun burns through nicely and weather is nice enough to log 4 more summer days. July 31st finishes much the same. However, this upper low has now retreated a bit offshore with a bit more of a south to southwest flow across the coast. We finish July with 29 summer days and temperatures warmer than usual, which seems to be a regular thing every summer because August is the same. Let's read through all of August, which has 22 summer days, but we're going to recount those to make sure. This weak offshore upper low continues to bring summer weather to the inner south coast from the southwest for the first 3 days of August. Temps start to heat up nicely for the 3rd and 4th as ridge pushes up briefly from the U.S. west coast. Fog persists in the morning for the west coast, but the inner coast nice and sunny. However, by the 5th, we see a weak low over Washington, Idaho, sends some cloud in from the east. This kind of circulates around. This persists into the 6th with temperatures really cooling off for those further south. By the 7th, we're seeing a new westerly flow kick in as low pressure has entered the Gulf of Alaska and high pressure ridging remains to the southwest off the U.S. west coast. We log another SD before the 7th, and before that from a front from the Gulf of Alaska low arrives for the 8th, slowly crossing on the 8th, 9th from the west with a good dose of rain for some and just a sprinkle for others. Temps stay consistently or seasonably mild. Rain eases later on the 9th. West flow continues for the 10th with cloud, sun, and on to the 11th with more sun, but still clouds up against the hills with that onshore moisture. Surface high pressure starts to build in. Meanwhile, deep low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, deep low pressure enters the Gulf of Alaska. However, our surface ridge is also getting support from building upper ridge off the U.S. west coast. Temps rise quickly on the 12th. And by the 13th, we're into an August heat wave, and this one holds strong for the 14th, 15th, 16th as that ridge sits over the west coast. And remember that low in the Gulf of Alaska? Well, that brings epic summer heat wave surf to the Juan de Fuca. Oh yeah, it was an amazing day. Warm, sunny, head-high surf, peeling waves, dead calm, oil slick. Oh. Anyway, skies clear for the 17th, 18th, but temps drop as a bit as that ridge pulls offshore and a bit of marine air moves in from the west-northwest. Summery still. Offshore ridging starts to rebuild in on the 19th, but with it comes some smoke from a northerly flow for the first time of the season as fires burn across BC. BC's worst fire season of the ever, summer fire season. So you can look back on those records. It's warm for most and would be clear for the 20th, but smoke prevails. The 21st starts with a bit of smoke, but this starts to clear out as we see cleaner marine air push onto the coast with upper low pressure moving in from the northwest in that kind of northerly flow that we were talking about. This upper low moves over the south coast on the 22nd, bringing more seasonal temps with cloud but no precip. On the 23rd, it has shifted inland a little with more cloud for the coast from the north-northwest. Some see a sprinkle. This low moves on eastward for the 24th, and things clear out, but there's still some residual light smoke from the leftover north flow. Things warm up. Meanwhile, new upper low pressure has moved down from the Gulf of Alaska into offshore waters, aiding in a now southerly flow, as strong ridging building in from the southeast. This brings a weak front across the Pacific Northwest from the south on the 25th with a sprinkle here and there, but then things clear out for the 26th for all, and temps heat up under this dry south flow. Heat blast temps continue for the inner south coast under sunny skies for the 27th. But the west coast sees fog spread up the coast from the south with this weak offshore low spinning off the Oregon coast. This brings much cooler air, unstable temp for the 28th, 29th, unstable air for the 28th, 29th with thunder showers off and on and locally heavy rain at times. By later on the 29th, this low trough is crossing the coast and moving inland with a westerly flow between low pressure in the upper Gulf of Alaska and high pressure well off to the ocean, southwest, filling in behind. This brings cloud and light rain with a weakened front for the 30th that continues on into the 31st as the frontal trough passes through. Meanwhile, that ridge to the west-southwest that was causing that westerly flow builds up into BC offshore waters, bringing a clear, sunny north flow to start September. There we are. We got through August. We'll get to September. September 12th. I had a forecast earlier, but now I'm going to have to recap to mid-month. And then we'll start forecasts right around the equinox. Anyway, hope you're doing well out there in the future. My friends out on this land. Much love goes out. I ask for sharing my joy, sharing my love, and ask for your protection. And my dear friends, as always, may the forecast be with you.